going to record this. No one will see it, only me. It's
Yeah, that's
literally,
grand.
it's literally if I want to go back over it later, if I'm not sure. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will I put back my shoes back on or keep them off?
No shoes. Good
Okay.
woman.
So there's this is squat. Okay, right, hang on.
So give me 4 or 5 of them. So don't mind too much.
Yeah.
Form or anything like that. Okay, quite good. Well done. All right. Turn to face me and keep going. This is your workout. Now you'll have 15 squats done. You wouldn't even know it.
I know that.
How do your knees feel like when you go down? Do they feel like they buckle a little, or do they feel strong?
They're clicking.
In or out?
The clicks there now. On the outside.
Out. So they're kind of pushing a little bit to the outside. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I probably go that way.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay, can you turn to the back for me?
Yeah.
Same again. So you're facing the wall and just a regular squat. Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I always feel like I'm rolling out here.
That you're trying to? Are you trying to, or does the leg naturally just roll?
Naturally just rolls out.
Let me see. I'm going to try it myself. Sometimes I have to go through it myself to kind of go one step.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So your foot is rolling out naturally, so your leg is pulling it out. Okay, grand. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. Right. Turn to the side for me.
Yeah.
And stand back just a little bit more so I can get as much of you as possible. Lovely. Okay, so what I want you to do is put your hands down by your sides and keeping them straight, bring them out in front of you and up over your head. That's it, all the way up. Yeah, all the way up. If you're able, sorry, girl.
Yeah, no.
That's it, all the way up over your head. Okay, yeah, go again, down and up. Same again, just keep going. Okay. How does that feel in the shoulder? You struggle to get arms up on either side in particular, or
No, that's
the same?
Obviously, I'm very stiff.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And one more time, if you turn to the other side for me. So,
yeah,
perfect. Lovely.
And do you know what? Like when I feel like I'm doing all these kind of things, I really embed myself. My feet get really
tense.
Yeah. Like I often say, anytime I've done this kind of like movement, my feet get really sore.
Yeah.
Like
coming right through you nearly.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever way I'm standing there now, it's like
your feet tense up to move through the movements. Yeah, so it's like you're through. Okay, put your hands on your hip bones for me. So as if you're, that's perfect. Yeah, so find your hip bones, dig in, find them, and then rest your hands on them with the fingertips facing out the way. Yeah.
All right.
Lovely. And turn to the side for me. Do you know that as well? Yeah, okay. Perfect. So you have the same as me. You've got a little bit of an anterior pelvic tilt, so your pelvis shifts a little bit, puts an awful lot of pressure down on the knees and down onto the ankles and feet as well. Quite normal. It's like, as well as that, you have a bit of a tight chest.
Yeah.
When you go to do the movement, your chin comes to meet nearly to allow the arms to move.
Okay.
Right now, it's not major. It's not like you're in bits or going around, but there's little imbalances in your body that would account for why there's tightnesses in areas more so.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So what we would do is we'd work on the tightnesses a bit, but we also need to rebalance that imbalance. So
yes. Okay.
About like working core and certain muscles, but I'll get to that, so don't worry. Right, okay. How are you with getting up and down off the floor in general? If you were to do exercises, are you okay with besides your shin?
I'm okay now, but I wouldn't be nimble like.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, no. I wouldn't be nimble there myself. That's something you get to. That's something you're progress to. Okay. Right then, we're going to do a couple of stretches and we can just start and sitting down if you want, so you can relax for a minute.
Okay.
I'll take you off the pin there and take the pressure off you.
Will I sit down on the ground here?
Yeah, if that's okay, if that's comfortable.
It is. I'm gonna keep the shoes off.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime you're working with exercise, you could keep your shoes off. It's better for your balance. Your shoes aren't compensating for it. Your feet are going to balance, and it'll balance the ankles. I'm pointing at my wrist. Balance the ankles better then, you know.
And should you wear socks?
Can do if you want. I wouldn't. If you're at home and you don't mind, you may as well take them off.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with some stretches. I'll have to remove the pin for a minute. I'll pin myself and then I'll come back to you for a minute then. So I think if I pin myself, then you can talk and it won't flash back. Okay. So we're sitting down. So we're going to do loads of little movements, but first thing you can do is start to stretch between the toes, right? So don't know how you are with your own feet, won't be great myself now, but putting your fingers in between each of the toes and stretching as much as you can, right? Now it's really hard to get the fingers in there as much, but separate them a bit and then push them up the way.
Push them up towards my
Push
knee.
them up towards the surface of the foot, the top of the foot. So you're bending them back. And you're just loosening ligaments and tendons in around the feet, right? So you can do that a little bit manually if you like, moving it around. And then sole your foot with your tennis ball like we were doing, but nice and gentle, nothing too heavy. So
the tennis ball is outside, hang on.
You don't need to get it for now if you don't want. I'll just show you for the moment.
Okay.
But literally going to put the ball under your foot and gently roll back and forward. That's it. You can pick up the toes, stretch in between the toes if you like. That's my worst foot I'm showing you now. Give you the normal foot, hang on. Okay, so that's just with your balls. So you're just rolling through that, but stretches. Okay, I'll show you and then you can see about how you feel about getting into the positions because of your shoe. Okay, so putting the toes in, tucking them in behind you and sitting down on the heels is quite uncomfortable. It's not something we do very often, but it will really stretch the underside of the foot and the fascia. So even when you're doing exercises, say you're doing your push-up later on, you can tuck your toes in for a minute, do your push-ups, and then relax the toes again. Do you know, you could bring in the stretch in between stuff if you want, because the more you do this, the better it gets.
Okay.
At first, it might be quite uncomfortable to even stretch it like that or to sit back on it, you know, so
try that.
Little breaks, give it a try, take your time, mind your shin.
Yeah, the shin is
it's a killer. I know, I've been there. I've had 2 shins and 2 knees busted trying to do lunge stretches, and it's no good.
So I can really feel the stretch in the feet.
Yes.
Like that.
No, again, very minimally on and off. You don't have to do it much because it's very tense and intense.
Yeah, because I kind of can't even sit all the way back.
Yeah, so we're working on sitting back then, okay?
Yeah.
Get to that. So for now, what you want to do is just tuck in the feet every now and again and try and have a little stretch for as long as you can tolerate, and then you can release them again, okay?
Okay. Oh.
This is always for the better good. Tell you, you'll be better after it.
It's actually like I feel old. Like,
oh, girl, your brain don't, so don't, and then the body goes. No.
Like, so that's definitely like
agony. So just a couple of seconds. Try and breathe and relax if it's making you tense up. Okay, so when you stretch muscles, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 receptors in the body, one that stops you overstretching and reacts and tightens, right?
Right.
So that's what happens first when you stretch. You go to a certain point and it goes, oh, wait, now we can't go past this. And you get tense, right? So what you have to do is try and relax, turn off that response by breathing, distracting yourself a little bit so that you can relax that muscle and ease a little bit past that tight point. Okay.
Yeah.
So normally it takes about 30 seconds. So you're building up to maybe 30 seconds of being able to do that. Okay. That's
Yeah.
just one. That's just one. Okay. So take your good leg.
Yeah.
I'm not low enough on this. 1 second.
So I'll take my good leg. Yeah.
Okay. So now you can do it 1 foot at a time if it's easier to kind of handle the pain,
Yeah.
right? But what you're also doing now is you can bring it in at the front. That's it.
My balance. Look at me. I'm like this.
That's part of it. That's all part and parcel, girl. Don't worry about it. When you don't use it, you lose it. Genuinely. I haven't done stuff in a while and my 2 hips are like, oh my God, crazy. So you're wanting to stretch in the front and we're going to work on that, but we're also going to work on trying to keep our balance. Okay. Yeah, good job. So now your muscles in your tummy are firing, trying to keep you upright. So you can roll up on the toes from down here as well, so the other way.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go between rolling up on the toes and like pushing down into the toes. So you can roll.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that in the toes there.
Yeah, you'd be surprised where it's tight. You just wouldn't even think it.
Yeah.
You can alternate between the top. Now, if you want, have a chair beside you.
Yes.
And use it to keep you kind of upright. Now you can
do the other
pause it now if you don't want. You can. I'll send you this video and you can try it out. So we're bending in the toes underneath and rolling across.
Yeah.
Loosening them up. Then other direction. Pushing up through the ball of the foot. Loosening the toes again. That's it. And again, you're trying to relax, but for now, you're just trying to get the position and the balance and everything. So there's a lot going on. So don't worry about how long you do it for. It'll get easier as you go and you'll be able to do it for longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Calf then. So we can sit down. Thank you. Best part, sitting down. Okay. So I'll show you with a towel. If you don't have to use a towel, but it can be handy, okay? So we'll do it first without. So if you sit and point your toes back towards your face, but we're also going to try and sit our chest up so we're not crunching in the middle. That's it. You can put your hands behind you if you want. If that helps your pelvis align, and pull the toes back towards the face. Really pull. You can feel your calves nearly pushing down into the ground.
Yeah.
As you strain to pull it up. Now what you can do is use a towel and do it individually. So put your towel around 1 foot, sit up nice and tall and pull towards you. That might be nicer and easier later. So just hooking the towel around the top of the foot, sitting up nice and tall and using the towel to pull the feet. So you get a little stretch at the back of the calf.
So when I do that, nearly like my ankle lifts off the ground, or should I keep my ankle on?
No, that's perfect. Your ankles lift. It's only the ball of the calf really that stays. But that's perfect. And if you hinge forwards a tiny bit, when you're hinging, keep the back straight and just hinge at the waist.
Oh, I can feel that in my back.
Yes. So that's another place we're working towards. So calves, hamstrings, lower back would all be kind of tight up to your lats.
Yeah.
So we'll work at stretching all them. So what you can do then is, right, first of all, bring the toes towards you. Place your hands on the legs and always keep the back nice and straight if you can, so you're not curving through the back.
Yeah.
You can catch the legs and walk down until you're comfortable, or a little bit of a stretch, but not hopping. If the muscle's hopping, then you need to come back a little bit, okay?
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to get to a comfortable point where you have a stretch, but it's not hopping and you could hold it there. And we're going to hold it for about 30 seconds. So we're doing that now while I'm talking. We're going to keep holding. And you're relaxing. You're trying to distract yourself from this, what you're doing here. And after about 30 seconds, we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And on the exhale, we stretch a little bit further. Okay, so you walk just that little bit further and try and hold it there. So this is kind of your new stretch point. Lovely. Okay, so that's calves, hamstrings sitting up. Then you can lie down and do it. So I'll show you again. And if you're comfortable, move and do. If you're not, you can try it later. So one foot flat on the ground, the other leg comes up straight.
Yeah.
As it goes, it might go to here, might go to here. You want to make sure your lower back is pushed into the floor all the time, that there's no arch, okay?
Yeah.
So bring the foot up. Now point the toes back towards the face with the knee straight.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely lots of this kind of stretching for you would be great. So yeah, get the towel later and try it. What you can, if you can grab the leg, it's grand. But if your leg is hopping because you're reaching it, it's a little bit too much of a stretch. So you can hold the leg anywhere. Up here, around the groin if you want. And then your 30 seconds. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and let's get a little bit further up. Tiny bit. And then push the toes towards the face again.
Oh my, yeah.
Breathe through that, yeah.
But I could feel the hopping what you meant. I was like, right, okay.
Yeah, and we'll all try and stretch to as far as we can, but then it'll start pulsing. And that's not relaxed. It has to be relaxed to be able to move past the point. So let's try the other leg on that one. Relax for a minute. So foot on the floor.
Yeah.
God, you should do this every day if you get the time. But if not, at least every second day.
Okay, how long should I be doing each of these for?
Okay, so you'd want to do about 3 stretch points. Okay, so we're here about 1.5 minutes for each of them only.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're bringing the leg to that point. You're just holding it there, trying to relax as much as possible, distract yourself. Focus on your breathing instead. Inhale and exhale and all that stuff. And then on the next in-breath, as you breathe out, bring that leg a little bit closer. And then push the toes down towards the face at that point. So up to 3 of those, your new stretch point you'll be moving from, more or less, right?
Right.
So you do it the first time and you come to whatever point you come to. You hold while you breathe, then you inhale, exhale, and move past it. Okay.
Okay.
Then you can relax for a minute and reset. Yeah. You might not get back to where you moved to, but you'll be a little bit further than you were. So then we go from there again, same again.
Okay.
And do it 3 times on each leg.
Yeah.
Each of the stretches if you can. So sitting up, lying down, use the towel would be great because you can really straighten the body and not hinge from anywhere else, and then really pull it towards you. It helps a good bit. Good stretch out. Even just sitting here now like this and pulling on the towel to the point of the screen, and then inhale, exhale, pull a bit further. Okay. We're going to have a little look at the groin and the hips. Now while we're here, we're doing a bit of stretching. Okay, so take your time and sit up for me.
Okay, so what do I do?
I want you to sit like I'm sitting. So your hands are behind you, your back is straight, and your legs are really wide.
Okay. My back is straight.
Yeah, so just make sure that your hands are supporting you so that your back can stay straight. So put the shoulders back so the chest is open as well.
Yeah, okay. I feel like a curve in my back.
I know, it's terrible. It's one of the worst positions ever. But anyway, look, what we're going to do is we're going to try and drop the right knee in the way.
Okay.
Do you feel a pull anywhere in particular?
I feel it in here, up here, my...
Yeah, your groin, yeah, same as myself. So that's a bit tight and won't allow... It's actually hurting me on the side of my bum. Right, okay, go the other one. So drop the knee in on the other side. You might find you get a bit more movement on one side than the other. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch. So we're just going to alternate between it, trying to drop the knee, because it can be loose, it can be tight at first, and then loosen a little bit with movement. And we might get a little bit more.
And when I'm turning, should I try and keep one foot flat?
Yes, so this foot flat, and the leg that's turning in, the foot can go rolling as well.
Right, and now I'm starting to feel that more in my hips now.
Yeah, that's okay. What part of your hips?
Here.
Okay, outer. Lovely.
Outer, yeah.
Yeah. These are all notes to write down as well. One sec. How's your hip?
Oh.
90. Okay. Let's go totally crazy then. Let's try a 90-90 position. Okay, so this one can be difficult to get into, so don't worry if you don't, or if it's a variation, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one foot behind me, like I'm doing a straddle. Now you can hold yourself up any way you like, that don't matter. You just want to have one leg in front and one kind of behind you.
Okay, I feel like it's slightly behind me, but it's not like.
That's okay, that's perfect. And if you need to lean to the side to do that, that's fine as well.
Yeah.
Wherever you need to support yourself. So I have one hand on the inside of my two legs there and one just out wide to keep myself upright so my back isn't compensating. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're always going to try and keep that straight line through the spine as much as possible. So if you feel a dip, we might need a block or something to lift you, but we'll look at that later. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm nearly better at the chair like this.
That's okay, yeah. If that keeps you up, great. Do you feel like a little pinch in that hip at the back though when you do that?
A tiny little pinch, yeah.
Okay.
I feel it more here in my groin.
Which side?
In the leg that's behind me.
The leg at the back. Okay, so we have a little bit of tightness in there as well. That's okay. All right, we're going to work on something here. So hinge forwards, because we're going to pick up that back foot. Now it mightn't lift at all, but I want you to see if you can, keeping the knee down, pick the foot off the ground.
Oh, very little movement there.
That's okay, yeah. So that tiny little movement.
And I feel like the leg in front is working as well.
Yes, what's it doing?
The calf is stretching.
You're stretching your calf. Lovely. Great.
Yeah.
Bubble. Yeah. Okay, so picking the leg up at the back, just 5 lifts. 3 doesn't have to be much. 4 and 5. Lovely. Now we're going to walk our hands forward so we come a little bit closer to the front leg.
Yeah.
And then come back up. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're using your hands a little bit, and the back leg is really working, trying to push that knee down to the ground.
I'm not feeling anything in the back leg there now.
Okay, do you feel in the front?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I was leaning too far, not over the leg like I told you to do. Okay, perfect. So what we're doing is we're getting a stretch on the inside of the ground in front. When we come down and up, just releasing that. And we're also working the outside of the glute that we don't normally use when we lift the leg at the back.
Okay.
Take your time, and we're going to come around. You're going to be doing this soon enough. You'll be well able to just fly the legs around there now, like a break dancing. One leg is easier than the other. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
this side feels.
Was that feel easier?
Yeah, I feel like I've got my leg more around this side. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, give me 1 sec to write that down too. Okay, so you have which leg?
So I have my left leg around the back now.
The back.
I think what it feels like to me is my right side is way more tense than my left.
Right, yeah. That's interesting. I need to have a look at your right side is tighter than your left. Yeah, makes sense. When you were doing your squat, there was a little kind of a kick to one side, tiny, and it was your right side just being a little bit stronger. Okay, so I did this side, we're doing the other side. So we're going to do the same again. First of all, we're trying to, you can hinge forward if you like. We're going to pick up the back foot. So we're keeping the knee down and we're just lifting the foot off the ground.
Like that's way easier now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so we just have a little imbalance more than a big problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, lovely.
I can definitely feel.
That's great. Okay, so now try and lower down to the front leg. You can use the hands.
And do I move? I just lower down
So
and then.
I'm using my hands, but I'm trying not to put all my weight on my hands. So I'm trying to put my weight over the leg and the hands are supporting me. Now it might work, it mightn't work. But you should feel almost like the bum or the leg is lifting you and lowering you. Because eventually you'll be able to do it without your hands. So you go lower
Yeah,
down and lower up and come up. Yeah. So first of all, just get the range of motion. So being able to go down and being able to come up with your hands is great. Start getting the range of motion in the hip.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a bit of flexibility ones that I wanted to work on, right? But I also wanted to work on a bit of core for me. So
Okay.
we're going to do these. We're going to start lying on our back, and some of them are going to be very simple, but getting it right and then progressing it is the important part. And then once we get this started today, I can give you some weights exercises to go with it. So what you could do then is have 2 or 3 days weights and the other 2 days stretching, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
Okay. So we're coming down onto the floor.
Yeah.
And anytime you're on the floor, you want to make sure there's no gap in under the back.
Okay.
So that's a pelvic tilt. So tilting the pelvis so the bum nearly lifts a bit off the floor, but the tummy pushes down.
Yeah.
So we're going to do pelvic tilts first. And it's very important you use your pelvic floor so you know how to squeeze your pelvic floor.
I think, yeah, I do.
Yeah, like you're trying to hold in going to the toilet.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you're doing the pelvic tilts, bring in the pelvic floor as well as the tummy, okay? So what we want to try to do first of all is the pelvic tilt. So rolling forward so there is an arch under your back.
Okay. Oh,
and
sorry.
then rolling back so there's none. So the bum is tilting forward and tilting back.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, it takes a minute to get around your head and feel it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I make.
So when you tilt forward, you can relax, and when you tilt back, squeeze the pelvic floor as well as trying to squeeze the abdominals down the bottom, right? So
yeah.
to do that too. Okay, so just give me, say, 10 pelvic tilts first. So big squeeze when you pull in and release when you go out. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is making sure the heels are a little bit close to the bottom. So let's bring them in as close as you're able. We're going to do that, but then we're going to roll up through the spine to a glute bridge. Okay.
Okay.
So what will happen is first thing we'll do is pelvic tilt. So our bum lifts and squeezes. Then you try and hit the lower back, the mid back, and the upper back until you're up in a bridge. Squeeze the glutes real tight at the top.
Yeah.
Hold it there for a second. Make sure your feet are planted into the ground evenly. They're rolling into the inside, push them out. And now we're going to go back down the other way. So we're going to try and keep our bum up off the ground the whole way down until the end. So now it's top of the spine, middle of the spine, lower spine, down into the glutes, and then pelvis relax.
Okay.
Okay, so really segment that movement. It doesn't have to be that slow, but that's what you're trying to do. So you're trying to go pushing in through the heels then as well. Lots of different commands on this one, but you want to push through the heels, tilt the pelvis, lift the bum, lift the lower back, mid back, upper back until you're up on your shoulders. Squeeze those glutes even more, push the feet down into the ground. If the knees are coming in, push them out. hold for a couple of seconds here, nice and tight through the glutes. They're wobbling, that's great. And then we come back down. So we go from the top of the spine to the middle of the spine, bottom, rolling down onto the glutes. So the glutes are the last thing to rest.
Okay.
Okay. All right, give that one a go for me and have a look at you.
Okay, can you see me?
If I can, 1 second. Yeah, I can. Yeah, perfect.
So I'm going.
Take your time. That's it. Perfect. And on the way down, that's it. So the glutes are really squeeze them right to the very bottom. They're the last thing that drops.
Okay.
Lovely. So that's great. We're going to do a few of those. So 10 pelvic tilts, 10 glute bridges like that.
Yeah. What's the pelvic tilt is just the.
That's literally your bum stays on the ground, your back stays on the ground. Everything stays on the ground, but your back, lower back kind of arches a bit as you tilt your pelvis forward. So like your hips, it's like you're sticking your bum out, Kardashian wise, and then we're going to try and suck them in.
And I feel like my back kind of slightly rolls, my arse.
Yes, exactly, perfect.
Grand.
You just want the control of that and to be able to contract the pelvic floor as well and release it. Perfect. So we're doing 10 tilts and then 10 bridges. Sorry, girl, go ahead.
I'm feeling it here.
You'll have to talk me through it. Where are you feeling
it? My arse on the outside.
Yes, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, lovely. So your glutes are going to get a work in there, but so is your pelvis and your hip muscles. Okay. Good woman. So we're starting with those 2 for the core.
Yeah.
Give you 2 then for another one for the core and a push-up. Okay. So take your time. Take your time and come around, and we're coming on to all 4s.
Okay.
Take your time though. There's no rush.
Okay.
That'll all speed up as well as you go. You know, it'll take to get from one to the other. But
okay, I feel that in my hips now. Right.
Lovely. Okay.
Oh, bloody shin.
So we're going to what you can do. If you're ever kneeling and you want to put a cushion under your shin, you can do that as well. You don't have to. So whatever to take the pressure off it. Okay. So if you need to do, there's one on the chair behind.
I will.
If it'll take the pressure off it, put it under the knee, take the pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 things then we're going to do is bird dog is the first one. So let me pin myself again for this, and then I'll I'm after pinning you, and I wonder it won't come to me. And then you can show me yours. Okay. So hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. You're sure not to sink between the shoulders, so push nice and strong through the back. Okay, so it's flat. We're going to bring one arm up to our shoulder height, roughly. And the same with the other one, okay? When you do it, so when I lift my right hand, my right knee pushes into the ground to try and keep me stable so I don't tip over. So what you want to do is imagine you've headlamps on your hip bones and they're facing the floor and you're trying not to let them move.
Okay.
A little bit of movement until the core strengthens, okay? So a little bit of a twist is okay, but you really want to try and keep that. Imagine you have a glass of water on your back and you're trying to keep it from spilling.
Okay. Right.
Keep your eyes looking down at the floor ahead of you, so you're not straining your neck. It's a nice straight line down your back, and you're just alternating arms. Like that. Yeah, you keep going and have a look, Chip. Perfect, yeah. Lovely, okay. We're going to try a little bit different now, and we're going to try and lift the legs. Okay. One more thing, your head is hanging a tiny bit when you do it, so try and level out. So do it again for me one more time with the arms, and okay, lift the head a tiny bit. Yeah, that's better. So rather than looking directly down at the floor, you're looking almost straight ahead.
Straight ahead, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's lovely. So we're going to try it with the legs. Don't worry, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't, and we come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so pin myself. We won't have much longer now, girl. I'll be finishing.
Oh, no, great. I'm loving this.
So what you can start with, right? There's so many different things you can do here. Okay, so you can also do your foot stretch from here if you want. Tuck in the feet when you're having a break, if you like, and walk through the toes. So we were doing the arm raise, and we're trying to keep everything steady. Now the other one then is the leg raise. So this one's a little bit more difficult because your whole body wants to shift. But you're just one leg out to the side. Now there'll be a little turn at the first few times.
Yeah.
You see that line in my pants there? You shouldn't be able to see that at all. It should be facing the floor. But when you do it first, your body might roll a bit. That's okay, but we want to eventually try and keep those hips level again. Imagine that thing is on your back and you're trying not to spin it. Don't matter how straight or high or anything about the legs, it's about lifting them and being able to keep your core steady.
Okay. Right. Will I try it here now?
And same with the arms. You don't have to raise the arms that high. It's all about raising them and keeping the core steady.
Okay. So.
Lovely. Yeah, perfect.
I don't know if I'm arching my back too much.
Don't worry about that. Just imagine you have a glass there and you're trying to only shift the bum and the hips a little bit more so than anything else. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. You ready to try the next level?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to try one arm, one leg.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be.
It's going to be fun, but I'll show you first. And then if I fall over, it won't be so bad as well. Okay. So if it don't work, we're just not ready for it yet, and we come back to it after a couple of days even of doing the other ones, right? So what you would do first is do one arm, the other arm, one leg, the other leg, right?
Yeah.
You're really trying to keep as steady as you can through all of that. Then what you want to do is lift one arm and one leg. So what we're going to move towards is moving them out. But if you can only raise them off the ground a bit, that's fine. Don't worry about extending. Try and see if you can lift one hand and one knee off the ground and still keep that back a little bit steady. Now take your time. It takes a couple of goes.
Yeah, so I'll do the. Okay, and then I'll go.
Take your time. Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Oh, no, wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh.
Wonderful. Okay.
Oh, there's my stretch in that now. Will I keep going?
Just do one more on the other side if you can remember which side. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Because you're imbalanced otherwise. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do one more exercise and then I need to give you an actual program of what to do with all of that. So never will be finished, okay? So push-ups, we're going to get a little bit of strength in the upper body. I have you pinned again, have I? Sorry. So push-ups, yeah. So we'll start with a box push-up. So you're in the same position, knees under the shoulders. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Hands under the shoulders. You get your knee up there. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Nice straight back. So you're in a box position. Your joints are supported by each other. We're going to keep the bum in the air, and we're going to bring the nose down to the floor and push up. Okay. Try that one for me, and we'll mess around with it a little bit there. That's it.
My feet are kind of lifting off the ground.
That's okay. Don't matter. Try not to worry too much about any other parts of your body in case it ends up making you tense.
Oh, I get you.
If they move, they move. How's that feeling?
That feels good. Like obviously the strength of my arms is.
You can feel you're doing something though, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So that is enough to start with. Good. The
Yeah.
worst thing would be not doing hard enough. Do you know? If someone
Yeah,
said, oh, you know, they're too easy, like you'd be better off stepping it up. But
Yeah.
that's perfect. We don't have a lot of upper body strength generally because we don't really do much besides pulling and dragging or shopping and stuff, do you know? So it's not
Yeah.
functional upper body work. So I'll send you in a message what to do. So let me just, I'm going to turn off record here now.